and it gives me the confidence that I know I've checked the measurements are the same on the model, so all is good. You can order a file to be rushed, or you can order it as regular, which I think is like up to 7 business days. I pretty much always order them as a rush. And what they do is they email it to you. So right now what you're seeing on my screen is that I've received an email from them saying that my model is ready to download. So I download it, and now I'm going to extract it. And in this folder should be, I'm not sure why they tend to give AutoCAD files as well, but I don't really need that. I just want the SketchUp model. So I'm going to open the SketchUp model, and then at the same time, I'm going to open my own template drawing. And so I go to my library, SketchUp, templates, and I have one called Swisterski drawing set template. So I'm going to open those at the same time, because what I'm going to do is copy the model right out of SketchUp and then paste it into my template, because they're using tags that I don't really use, and they're using kind of a system that I don't really use in terms of model organization, which I'll explain a bit as well once everything opens. You'll notice in a second that I'm not sure which plugin did it, but after one of the plugins that I downloaded, my SketchUp tends to completely spaz out when it opens. Didn't seem to do it this time, so don't know what that's all about. But you'll have to give it a minute. Okay, so here I have the model from Canvas. So I'm going to take off the ceiling, and this is a space that is the reason that I have this job is because these people live in an old converted factory in Toronto, and it's very high ceilings. I forget how much. Let's see how high they are. They're like 12 or 13 feet. So it's 13-foot ceilings, and it's 1 story. So they have a bathroom in here. And you can see how accurately it's actually modeled. They take the point cloud and they really put everything into it. Like with this kind of space, a 13-foot space that's loft and like all this ductwork, I would not be able to do that with any reasonable accuracy with, you know, my laser measure or my measuring tape. Like a lot of this would be guesswork, so it's so nice to have it as something that's just ready-made. And there's just so many odd details here that I would have hated modeling. So I'm so happy to have someone else do it and be comfortable that it is very accurate. So what I do not like about these models is that if you take a look at, I'm going to take tray. Oh, actually this is a scenes tray. I'm going to look at the tags here and I'll show you my issues. Actually, this is not so much an issue with this model because there's only 1 floor here, but normally what happens, you can see they have all these layers for different elements. Normally what happens is if it's a 2-story or 3-story building, they will redo all of these. They'll duplicate all these tags and they will put all of the 2nd-story things, say it'll be like door frame level 2 and door frame level 1. So for every story, it either doubles or triples the amount of tags, which I do not like. So normally, I will grab this whole thing and I will put it into my own template. And my own template is telling me where north is, and now I have to really think, okay, so north is on the green axis. So I'm just gonna remember that, and I'm gonna paste this into place. So north is here, but I know when I was there that when I was looking out this window that that was east. So this wall must be the north wall. So I'm gonna rotate this whole thing by that much. And then I'll put the origin point back here so that everything is honky-dory, but I will actually put the floor level there, not the bottom of the slab, so that if I'm doing my little dropper guy, it's doing it at 5'6", a true 5'6", rather than something else. So I like having my scenes tab here, except something got screwed up with this lately, but I like having the scenes as a separate one because I do not like SketchUp's default way of doing it all horizontally, because I end up having so many scenes and it's way harder to control that way. Okay, so the first thing I do is I go on to my scene called All Off, and I start putting things on the tags that I want them to be on. So mine are all Mike Brightman style, where I have things called elements, locations, and conditions. I rarely use the conditions because I'm not always doing like sets of demo drawings. And even when I am, I kind of have my own system. So anyways, normally I'm using just the elements and the locations. The elements are all the physical things in here, like the walls, the doors, the windows, the millwork, ductwork, that sort of thing. And the locations are where they are. So everything here I'm just going to put on the ground floor. But if I had a second story or a third story, I would group everything on that second story and I'd put it on location second. So if I were to turn off location second, the entire second floor would disappear. Okay, so I know that I want to put the walls onto walls. And because I'm on a scene called All Off, which the scene All Off has every tag turned off except for untagged. So if I put, well, all of my own tags, but all of the tags from the canvas model are still here. So all my own tags, if I put anything on one of my own tags, it'll disappear on the all off thing. So that's how I go through a process of elimination to make sure that I've tagged everything in this model as my own tags. So I'm just going to keep going through. Certain things are hard to classify as elements, like say this is the ceiling of the bathroom in this loft, but it's not really a ceiling or a floor, because really the ceiling for a first floor space would be at the top of it. So for now I'm going to put it as ceiling because I don't know how to classify it. I think that might cause me problems in some of my scenes later, but we'll figure that out later. Actually, I classify it as the floor, and it would, because I actually don't really have ceilings as part of my tags. I have floors and roof, because a floor is always the ceiling of another story. So for example, the ceiling of the ground floor would actually be the floor of the second floor. So that's why I didn't have a ceiling tag there. I'm not sure if my audio, I just realized I'm not sure if my audio is working. This whole time, I don't think my audio has been on, so I will have to grab my headphones. possible that I was on mute the entire time until now, so I'm going to, I'll just keep going as though I was talking the whole time. But a little briefing is that I'm taking a canvas model that was created as a point cloud scan with my phone and a LiDAR scanner, and I use the Canvas service to, Canvas being like an app and a company that you can do your scans with the LiDAR scanner on your phone. If you have a LiDAR scanner on your phone, if it's an iPhone 12 or higher, you take that and you order whatever format of model that you want. So I order SketchUp models off of there once I've done the scan at like a place that I'm working on. So this here is a loft space that I recently took a scan of, and I am taking all of the elements that they've put on tags, and I'm putting them on my own tags and my own template. So I'm going to keep going. Basically, I have it on a scene called All Off, where all of my own tags are turned off. And so if I put them on my own tag, I kind of eliminate them from the scene so that I can be sure that everything I have captured is on one of my tags. So I'm just going to keep going and put all the ductwork on. Sometimes I don't necessarily have tags for very specific things, like I usually don't have exposed ductwork in models that I'm working on, so I do have a tag called fixtures, which is what I put like face plates of electrical and that sort of thing on. So I think I'll just put the ductwork on that. What I could be doing, maybe what I'll do going forward is, see that all disappeared, but there's some ducts left. What I could be doing is grabbing one of these and saying select all with same tag, and that might make things a little faster. In this particular example, it might a little bit, but I put plumbing fixtures on a tag called plumbing, so that's not super helpful, but some of these are. I grabbed some of that stuff, and I'll just manually select the others. But I can probably do things like with the trim. I think they call the trim architectural details, but anyways, I will say select all with same tag. And from what I've gathered with the Canvas people, they everything that they cannot really define just gets called an architectural detail, so that's something you have to be careful with. So I would say generally most of that looks like trim, and so I'll put all of that on the trim tag, and then select all of the things that are called door frame, all with same tag, make sure that they're all door frames, yes, then put it on trim, and then probably it would have been good to do this in the beginning. Usually getting rid of the big things is a better idea, just so they're out of your way. So all of the windows, here they tend to separate glass and windows, which I don't really love, so I'm going to select all with the glass and then just put that on windows, and then select all the windows, put that on windows as well, and then see what's strange is they have counters as counters, but some of that includes actual millwork. That doesn't matter to me so much now. If all the upper cabinetry is cabinetry, so I don't know if that's them separating things lower or higher. But I'm going to take all things counter So I'll select all of those and I'll put them on millwork. I'll select all the things that are called cabinetry and put those on millwork as well. Everyone's got their own styles and their own way of doing things, so when your model's organized, that makes it a lot easier to figure things out and just get it converted quickly. So I'm going to select all the appliances, all the same tag. That's the fridge, washer, dryer, oven, dishwasher, and I think hood. So I know that those all are, so I'm going to put that on appliances. And as you can see, I'm getting closer and closer to eliminating everything on this all-off scene. So once there's nothing on this all-off scene, I know that everything has been put on its appropriate tag. And I can get started with doing my own modeling business. So all the same tag, it should select all the doors, and it has, so I'm going to switch that over to my own doors. And these now are all called, they're on that architect, or on the features tag, but I know that I want them on plumbing fixtures. I don't really know what that is, I'll untag that. I'll put it on my own called plumbing. And I think this is architectural details, but I'm pretty sure it's tiles, so I'm going to put that on my own called tiles. And the rest of these, I think they're just like framed and drywall elements, so I'm just going to put them on the wall tag for now. And then this last guy that was left out, that is a fixture, because I think it's a faceplate of some kind. The last thing I'll just put on the floor, my own floor one. And then so now these are all the canvas tags that I took everything off of. So there should be nothing on any of these, so I'm just going to go ahead and clean all of this up. So I'll do that, select delete tags, and then it's going to ask me, entities in the model have been tagged with tags to be deleted. What would you like to do with those? I would assign them to the tag untagged. So if there is anything left, like deep within other components, then it'll just go on to untagged, and it'll just get rid of those. And won't be deleting anything, won't actually be deleting any components or geometry or anything like that, so we're safe there. So I know that I've successfully changed all the tags when the scene all off actually has nothing on it. When I go to all on, it'll have everything on it. The only thing that's probably not there is the stuff that I hid at the beginning. And I don't actually remember hiding that, but I'm going to go to the scene working ground, which is a scene that I like to have when it has the floor that I want. So in this case the ground floor, and it has the ceiling or the floor above removed, so I can look down on it in a bird's eye. So now that I've got this exactly how I want it with the tags that I want, this client hired me to create another bedroom. So this loft here has one bedroom. It's very typical of a Toronto condo where they've converted factory lofts, and there's only so much window space. They end up putting all the public spaces in front of the windows. So they have this seating area here, and they have the kitchen area here, but that means there's no space left for a window for the bedroom. So they end up putting the bedroom somewhere else with no windows, but they don't put a ceiling on it so that some of the natural light from the front can filter in through there. With this client, they just had a child a year ago, and they want to at some point have a separate bedroom, but there's just not really enough space, and because they have so much height, they're really hoping that they can put like a mezzanine bedroom upstairs. And what they asked me to do was put one on here, because they don't want to put a ceiling on top of the bedroom to block the light. But this space is not big enough to put a queen bed, which is obviously what you want as a couple as a minimum. And so the other thing is that you have to have a staircase to get up there somehow, and I don't know if there's enough space here to really have a proper staircase. So that is what I've been hired to explore. When I went and met with them, I told them I thought that this would actually be a better alternative to a bedroom space because you have more space to put, well, I can't tell for sure, but it looks like there's more space to put a little stairway up here, and then this is a big enough space to put a queen bed. So that's what I'm going to try doing today. So I'm just going to start working my way through that. And I'll try to just talk while I'm going through it. And if anyone has any questions, let me know. I see that there's one viewer, so if that one viewer, whoever you are, has questions, please go ahead and start asking them through the chat. If not, that's fine too. Okay, so what I'm going to do to figure out staircase, first I'm just going to make a line, and I am going to make it the height of the ceiling, and I'm going to divide it, and I'm going to see what that gets me. So I know that I want my riser to be a maximum of 8 inches, so I'm going to see how many segments I need to have. I'm going to keep shrinking it. So in the Ontario Building Code, you're supposed to have 7 7/8 as the maximum, so this is showing me 7 13/16, which I don't know if 13/16 is bigger or smaller than an 1/8, so I'm going to check that out. So that's actually a little smaller, so that's perfect. So if I can get enough risers, and I'm just going to count on SketchUp to tell me the distances here, because I want as few steps as possible because the width here is not huge. So I don't know where my, now it's 9/16, so I don't know what happened to the divisions, but that's, oh no, right, 7 13/16. Okay, so I'm going to accept that as my dimension here for a step. So what I do with steps is I do this division thing so I know that it's all perfectly equally spaced. And I just use one of these segments to create one tread. And I want the depth to be a minimum of, I would prefer to be at 11 inches. And I think again the building code is like 10 7/8. So I'm just going to say 11. It's a bit easier, so we'll just see where that gets me. And I'm going to make this step exactly, I'm going to make it a component. We put it against the wall here. Actually, I'm going to put this first one all the way up here. And then I'll use a guide to show me where it should really start. So that's technically where it can start. So if I take that and I multiply it by, let's say 12. So this is what I was afraid would happen when I was explaining to the client that I didn't actually think there was enough space for a regular staircase here. And as you can see, there really is not. I'm going to take those two out. So the only way that I can make the staircase work is if it's like not to building code, which I don't really want to do because an engineer does have to look at all this to approve stuff. So I want a somewhat building code approved stair. The only way that I see that I could achieve that here is if I did a winder from this point onward and the stairs really butted into the living room. And it looks like they would come out quite a bit. I could do a quick, have to make sure that the landing is about 36, so the landing would have to start there. It's pretty high up. So if I do a winder, I can gain a few risers, but let's just see. could probably gain or do 2 extra risers in that winder, so I'd have 2 less steps. So that means that it would end. What I'm going to do is take these and drop them down to the floor level. And I don't really want to do the winders now. Well, maybe I'll just do a winder real quick. Because I will have to show the clients, I like to show them the options that didn't work, just to show them why it didn't work. And that I really did put my best foot forward when it comes to, I don't want to dismiss their suggestions, because their wish had been to do the staircase here, so I don't want to be really dismissive of it, even though I think it doesn't work. But I need to show them why. So that's where that winder, what am I doing here? Okay, so this, you know, it would be easier if I just used one of these components and made it unique, which I have a hotkey for, so press that, made it unique. I'm going to twist it to 30 degrees, because that's a third of 90 degrees, which is what that corner is. And I'm just setting these guides here because I need to know where that winder will butt into the wall. And instead of going crazy with geometry, I'd rather just follow the guides. So I'm going to copy those guides. Or I cut them and I'm pasting them into place inside the components so that I can just follow them. So obviously we're not really going to have our winder butting way past the wall, but for now I'm just going to draw it like that and then cut away. And I think because I have, what I can do here, because I've rotated this component, it's also rotated the axis in it to line up with that, so I can't use my, I can't lock my axes in place here along this, so I'm just going to use a guide again to make my geometry. So once I've done that, I'm just going to extrude it down, delete the other stuff. And so there's my first winder. And then I'll need to make that step below unique as well. But first I'll copy it over here, and I should preface that I'm not an architect, so I usually just get the stair drawings from the architect and kind of model it up. So with that being said, I think I can probably do a functioning winder here, which I have done in the past, but just thought I'd throw that out there. So obviously this winder has to end here, so I did make this unique. You didn't see it because a lot of the things that I do are hotkeys, so you might not necessarily see me doing it and like going up to any tools here, but having the hotkeys, something that you programmed yourself, really helps. I see Keith, why did you do all those 16ths and 8ths? Maybe you can answer. I see your message there. Don't get it. Anyway. So I'm going to draw in the rest of this, and edit this winder. And make it end there and span it all the way there, so I can go clean that up when I'm done all the geometry. I think that's how it would go. Maybe, maybe not. I'm gonna just draw it and then fix it later if it's messed up looking. And again, my axis is rotated, so I just need to use guides. I can change my axis, but I do want it to stay, it's more convenient for it actually to be aligned with the component a lot of the time, so I'm just going to keep it that way. I'm trying to erase stray lines, I just go into X-ray mode, which I have a hotkey for as well, so I can do it quickly on a very ongoing basis. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I assumed there was a bunch of missing faces, so I'm just identifying those, and then I'll clean up some of these faces, or lines. And then I can see there's some internally, so go into X-ray, clean them up. And it looks like that's pretty clean. This shape is still messed up, but I think, see, this is what happens, that's why I like having my working ground, so I can just go back to a view that makes sense. So this still needs to be trimmed up there, and whatever, just gonna isolate it. That's another hotkey that you should have on hand. And unisolate. And then obviously this riser has to be changed, but I almost just made a huge mistake there and didn't make it unique, so I'm going to make it unique. And then fix this step leading up to the riser. So this one I can actually use the axes because I haven't rotated it. I think I was trying to delete a line that didn't exist. So it looks alright to me. Now the only thing that looks proper, I don't need that little part, so that, I don't know why I kept that. Let's take that right away. And so I guess what I'm seeing now is I don't need the this stair can actually be tucked in even further than I was thinking because I just need it to be 3 feet wide. Okay, yeah, the easy way to fix this is taking this whole thing and pulling it to there, and then trimming all of this off. So I'm just going to create these lines and then copy and paste them into the components themselves. So, okay, so what I've done is I've made those lines, I've now pasted them into these components so that I know exactly what I'm taking away. And it doesn't matter that I've pasted in things for other components, because I'm just going to do the exact same thing there, get rid of that one, and pull that down. So now I have a pretty good staircase that looks like it makes a lot of sense. It's coming down right to the ground, it's got a winder, but ultimately it's pretty silly looking. And now, oh, I see why I had that before. Okay, because I need this 3 feet to actually start at the edge of this wall. So I think ultimately, instead of having the stairs go all the way to there, they'd probably have to build out some kind of, like, I don't know, little ledge wall there or something, so obviously no one falls through that hole. It is a pretty big wasted space, so it's another reason to not be doing the staircase here. So yeah, to me this is not really a viable location for a stair, because it eats up their entire living room. Is there more space here for a staircase? Probably not that much more, but it looks like there's also a lot more space to put a staircase. So let's take a look at that. I will almost surely need winders if I put it here too, so I think I can just copy this thing right over. And I'm assuming the bedroom is comfortable being the same height as this bathroom, but I should check the height of the bathroom. I don't really remember what it was. It's 7 feet, so it's not excellent, but we're dealing with special conditions, so I'm going to assume that we're okay having a 7-foot bathroom. So I'm going to rotate, or a 7-foot height bedroom. So I will rotate the stair the way it'll have to work to be in this corner. So I'm just going to follow, I want the height to stay the same, so I'm just following the axes. So if the stair did start, I think that's pretty much where it would start, where it would have to go. So makes for a tight bedroom, definitely, because it's taking away some of the space, but it's also supposed to be at first kind of a nursery, although the kid is 1.5, so maybe not a nursery, but a kid's bedroom, so it doesn't have to be gigantic. And it's also wider than the other space, so we don't need so it can definitely move over. Which means that the riser can, or the winder can be higher up, which is good because that gives more headspace around here. So what I'm going to do is move this up by two risers, the height of 2 risers. Just need to make sure not, stairs can be confusing, so okay, 1 riser, 2 risers. So actually this guide should be here, and then I can move the entire staircase up by, right, that's if I'm grabbing it from the bottom, which is what I was thinking. So I will grab that from the bottom, put 2 risers up, add these 2 steps here, and then take two steps out of here. So that when I put a ceiling at 7 feet, and I'm just going to make the top match the top of this, so that the floors are the exact same. Actually, I should make sure that the height of this, I think it was 7'2", but I'm just going to go into the bathroom. I've locked the blue axis there, so I can't really go anywhere other than up. So all I have to do is touch the top there, and now my line will be where I need it to be there. So the floor, if there was a bedroom here, the floor would be spanning all the way across here and here, and there would be a cutout. I'm going to go to the X-ray mode so I can put exactly where the cutout of the stair would be. We're going to my green axis. For some reason that it's not working. Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm going to cut this whole thing out. We probably don't need to cut that much of the floor out. but it's a cleaner look, so I'm just going to go with that for now. And this floor doesn't have to span that far, so this is what I'm going to pull down. And yeah, so for the sake of just making sure we're maximizing space, I'm going to pull this to there. And pull this around here. I don't need that extra line, so I'm going to, just to make the geometry clean, I'm going to make sure that, I'm going to make this a group before I destroy something. Oh no, I made just the face a group, so I need to undo that. So I'm going to triple click to make sure that everything is selected there. Then I'm going to make sure that that is a component on itself. I didn't accidentally grab anything I shouldn't have. So that is the floor on its own. And now what I'm going to do is a test of practicality. So I'm going to put, maybe some of you are wondering, why is there, or what are you going to do with the ductwork here? If this ceiling height is, let's see how high it is. It's 5'2". Why is it 5'2"? This is a problem. Let's take a look. 5'2". So the clients were telling me that the ceiling height of this loft is 6 feet, which is the height of the husband of the couple. But it says 5'2" here, so there's a chance there might be something off with this model. So in this case, what I'm going to do is, I have the pictures of the site dimensions on my phone, so I'm going to take a look at that. I should have uploaded them to my computer, but I haven't done that yet. So what I have written is 156 inches and 13/16 for this overall ceiling space. So let's just make sure that that's correct. 156, 13/16. Where does that leave us? So yeah, we've got that dead on. And then I have the height of this wall, 74.5. So they do have the bathroom height accurate, but do they have the height of that wall, of this wall accurate? Because they might have gotten the depth of the ceiling wrong, so that's what I need to check on my site dimensions here. I remember measuring the wall, and I thought I remembered writing it down. But I don't see it, so that's annoying. I swear it's on here. I'm pretty sure it's 8 foot high, so I'm going to see if that's what this is. 7'10", pretty close. So it seems to me that maybe the space is not 6 feet high like the client thought. Okay, I'm going to go ahead on the basis that, just reading some of the comments here. Suggestion for the staircase. Landing at the corner, the stair goes down. Yeah, I guess there's the possibility of doing like a tight spiral in here. Which, yeah, is a possibility. I really don't like them because they're really uncomfortable and can be a bit dangerous. But often they're not to code because they're up to a mezzanine, and a mezzanine's not considered like a livable space. And if you have a bedroom up there, then you can't consider it a mezzanine. So for all those reasons, maybe not. But anyways, yeah, that is a good suggestion. I might pull a spiral stair from, actually let me do that now. I will pull a spiral stair from the 3D warehouse. Spiral staircase. Agree. And what I'm going to make sure I do, so I control the file sizes. I don't want any like 100 megabyte file. 5 megabytes is very reasonable. Let's say that. Let's see what spirals come up now. Oh, the same ones. That's good for them. Okay, let's check this one out. I don't need to view Unit 3, I just want to download it. Okay, yes. Whew. This is not... I don't know how much space we'll save here. Now I need to just rack my mind for, okay, so this, the thing about spiral staircases, often the way they work is you get on them in one direction and you get off of them 180 degrees from the direction that you got off. So, okay, I'm going to mirror this thing because that'll get me on slightly more on the right track here, and then I will, staircase is so big. Then I'll rotate it by 90 degrees this way. And over this corner. Right, so obviously this one will not work, and still, unless it's made as a very, very tight spiral, which I don't know if it'll be up to code. Let's see how wide these, so it's 3'3", so it's only 3 inches more than what I need for it to approve the building code, so it's not like wildly off. If I redo this, it won't really save that much space. And let's see the height of the, yeah, so this is actually a pretty to code spiral stair. As you can see, it's, oh, but I guess the other thing is it's going up like 2 stories, so let's see how easy this thing is to edit. Actually, I should have created a line. Let me just copy this and paste it into this, and just to give me a sense for where this could stop. So I will take away all of these, shrink this down. I do that using the Curic tools, Curic trowel. Oh, I still have a step there, and oh, these are all components. That's nice, so I can just select them and get rid of them. Okay. And shrink this floor down again. Alright, no, I just need to delete this floor. So, oh, but that deleted the thingy. Right, okay, I need to go in here, delete the floor. Great. So now I need to rotate this so that what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the corner of the stair against the wall, and then I will rotate it according to this wall, and then put it at the edge of where this opening is. Well, that obviously doesn't work at all. Okay, I'll need to rotate it so that if someone's coming up the stair, yeah, yeah, I mean, I think a spiral will not really work. Just again, if it's to code and if it flares out, I don't think it's really going to be taking up much. Even if I like modify it, I don't really see it working that much better than a winder one. But you know, I'm going to keep that there, and just in case if it comes up with the client. But I think that we're a bit more onto something here, but now it's the ceiling heights that concern me. Because it was 5'2", then that means under these ducts it's super low. So it's 4 foot under these ducts. So it's kind of okay if like you're in bed, but that's the only time it's okay. Yeah, I wish I'd gone up there and measured, but there's not that much way to get up there. Well, there kind of was. There was a ladder. Anyways, I'm going to pretend like they're 6 feet and there's something off with the dimensions here because they told me 6 feet. Okay, so I'm going to make a queen bed, which I believe is 64 by 80 or something thereabouts. Whew, so that's still pretty big. I'm just gonna double check some dimensions here. I always forget mattress sizes. Queen mattress size inches. 60 by 80, so almost close there. 60. Okay, so this obviously will not work with this wall here. Let's see if it works at all in this direction. So it fits, but just barely. It would be better if it was a double. And this is just crazy tight. Crazy tight. It would be better actually if they got up the stairs over here. Well, let me try that out. 90. Move this over here. I don't know, but you're like ducking every time you get into bed. Oh, it's all so tight. There's a bit more space there, but yeah, we need to... I guess I should make my stairs a group. So I'm going to do that now so I can shuffle them around wherever I need. Group. And then I'm going to temporarily copy this over in case I need to use things from there. So I'm going to mirror this thing over. Right, so the staircase does not work there because of that closet. Unless we do the winder a little closer, a little tighter, but then the stair would go further into the space here, which would then take up the space of the bed. So that doesn't work. So I'm going to undo that. So we're back to the bed going here. Tricky. bad there aren't more people in this stream. I want some suggestions. Well, actually, I'm going to end this stream because I only meant to do an hour. It's been an hour, so I bid you all adieu. Maybe the next stream will be me telling you what I did to figure this out, and then maybe doing some construction docs for this. So until next time, bye-bye.